All right. What's up? How y'all doing today? I'm doing just fine. Here we go again, once again, another Wednesday night, man. We hanging out with who? What's his name?
Tom Moo.
That's right, man. And we know the corona is out. But we safe up in here. We going by the rules. And we're not going to be here long. We getting up out here, trust me. Now, look, before we get started, I want to do a little snippet of, you know how I do it. About something I seen, something I heard, something, I felt I need to share with y'all. And today, what I want to bring to you is that they talking about giving out them checks for the people that's been home, not working, doing the things that they need to be doing out here because of what? The corona. So guess what? I'm looking for mines because I haven't been working. And I needs that change. You feel me? So look, just keep in mind, man, don't worry, don't stress. God got your back. Just understand that patience is virtue. But look, as you can see, I have a room full of people, man. Beautiful people, man, that decided to come out here with the Tom Mo Show tonight, man, to share some of the things that's going on in their life. Now, look, as I say, the one and only, straight out of Washington, D.C., Southeast, what's his name again? Tom Moo. That's right, man. Glad to have you. So, look, I ain't going to hold y'all up a whole lot, man. I got a nice panel tonight, man, that want to share some great things that's going on in their life, man. And I just want to share it with y'all for y'all to know that y'all certain things y'all going to have to do when this corona thing is all over and we get back to normal. Yeah, it's a lot of things that's going to be happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the table. And I'm going to start from you, Miss Bryant. You just introduce yourself, kind of tell them a little bit, not too much, of what you're doing. And then we're going to come around to you, my sister, and you tell them a little bit, tell them your name and a little bit of what you're doing, okay? Starting with you, Miss Bryant.
Okay, so I'm Sheila Bryant. I'm a candidate for Congress in Maryland's 4th District. I'm a retired Marine colonel. I'm a lawyer. I'm a citizen like you. And I'm running for office because I think we need strong voices to represent the people and not just the corporations. And right now we're in this crisis with the coronavirus. We got to make sure that the government, the federal government, takes care of us. Meanwhile, I'm here for you.
Oh, man. She got my vote.
Good.
You, ma'am.
I am Miss Gutter. I'm a DMV artist. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I've been doing music for about 13 years. I love what I do. I am what I do. And I just aim to please everybody through my music and tell my story.
That's right. That's what's up. Up. Let's put our hands together for my two exciting guests tonight. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to start asking a few questions. I'm going to go from you to her, back and forth. Right now, like, I'm feeling like we always got to vote.
Yes.
And a lot of times, and I'm saying including me too, because I'm never going to talk about somebody else that I can't put my own foot in the same shoe, that we don't go out and vote because we really don't know the people. We really don't know the person. So it's like, man, vote for what? I mean, like, what they going to do for me? You know what I mean? Because by us coming out of the hood, southeast, northwest, southwest, you know what I mean? We already know we struggled for years just to get where we at today. So it's like, did they help us get here or did we help ourselves? So with you, from just your introduction, I felt confident. I felt like, because it's what you said, because it's the things that we say that people believe and hold on to. And you were saying, like, your last thing was, I'm here for you. That got me. That's when I said you got my vote. So just tell me, like, let's go back a little bit when you was younger. Did you ever think that you was going to be doing what you're doing now?
Well, let me just tell you a little bit about myself.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm originally from Mississippi. So
okay.
I grew up, like, my uncle was president of the NAACP in those days, in the 60s. And he would help register black people to vote because at that point they still had poll taxes where you had to pay in order to vote or you had to take a test. And so, I mean, it sounds unreal, but it really was happening. Mm-hmm. But he did it anyway. Mm-hmm. They bombed his house, they bombed his barbershop, but he said, you know what? I got a mission to do. Mm-hmm. And so from that legacy, I feel like I got to carry it on, and mm-hmm. voting is huge.
That's right.
Because he risked his life and other people died. I mean, you could actually be killed for registering to vote.
That's right.
Now we have the right to vote and we stay at home.
That's right.
So it's really disturbing to me. So did I know I was going to run for Congress? No, but I knew I had to give back, which I've been doing all my life. You know, I was in California is where I was in the military, so I stayed there for a long time.
Let me stop you right there with the military. Okay. The military. Did you get into military because it was a family thing, or you just decided that that's something you wanted to do?
The funny story is that my cousin was a recruiter.
Okay.
That's really the truth.
Right.
I really didn't know that the Marines were trained killers, essentially. And that, you know, the reputation is to go in but improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is the Marine Corps motto. Okay. So for me, that felt right. That's what we do. That's what women do. That's what black women have always done.
Right.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yeah,
so
y'all, not to be cutting you off, but women, man, Lord have mercy. Exactly. I need to have a topic about women, man, because for real, like, a lot of people don't understand how strong black women are today. Now, you know, because I can look back. You know, I've been around the corner a couple of times. But I can look back in the day when my mom was raising us and all that. It was more she home wife. You know, didn't really have to go out and work because my dad, he out there working and providing and things like that. But now today, I mean, me personally, I look at like the women are running the world. They running the city. They doing everything. They in charge. Like now, because a lot of men is not on the street for whatever reasons, and women had to step up to actually raise sons, raise their kids by themselves, you know what I mean? Even without public assistance, getting them jobs. And I'm saying right now, I know so many women that's like bosses, in charge. When I look around, you see more women driving than you see men.
That's a fact. In D.C., we got Mayor Bowser. In Maryland, we've got... that's
what I'm saying.
You know, Angela Alsobrook, who's the chief executive, and Aisha Braveboy, who's the state's attorney. We are doing things.
That's right, yes.
But here's the thing. There are no women representing Maryland on the federal level. In 2020, the year of the woman, it's been 100 years since we got the right to vote, women did. And now there are no women, based on all that power that you say we have, no women representing Maryland. So I'm here to change that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm stepping up, I'm putting myself out there, and, you know, that Marine drive, I got to do it. So.
Now, y'all hear this, man. Miss Brown is not playing. She say, guess what? I'm stepping up, and I'm going to make that happen, and she's going to need our help.
I do.
She's going to need our help, man. Y'all see her live right here. Who is not watching now, you're going to see it later. And when you do, man, come on, man. Let's support her, man. Let's give her a chance. You know what I mean? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward over here to Miss Gutter. You know what I mean? Miss Gutter been sitting here to this show by a partner of mine, which is D Eagle. Y'all already know about him. Geeking for Success, We the Link, One. You know what I mean? We just go on and on. So I want Miss Gutter to just kind of like, you know, tell us, you know, about her career. When did it start?
13 with a tape recorder. I can fast forward record. I can scrap it. Pots and pans in the house.
Okay.
Making a whole lot of noise. Grandma was like, wait till my stories go off. And that was me. After the stories go off, it's on and popping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you remember what one of your first songs you wrote?
Time and Time Again.
Time and Time Again?
Yeah. I was actually singing.
You singing that now?
I haven't even recorded it. I never recorded it, but that was the first song that I put out.
And how old was you?
I was 13.
13 years old. Let me see. Average person I bring on, I say, well, when did you start? They say, I was about 2. I was like 3 years old on my first delivery, you know. But so you say you grew up in Southeast, what part?
No, Northeast.
I mean Northeast, what part?
By Spingarn.
By Spingarn.
They call it Vietnam.
Yeah, back then.
I don't pay the taxes, so I was born and raised in Northeast D.C.
Yeah, I went to Spingarn back in those days.
Yes.
Not telling my age, but yeah. I used to work right there at that KFC that was right there across the street from me. I used to be a manager for KFC, man. They kind of got rid of me. That's a whole nother subject.
All right.
Yeah. So what is it that you're doing now to pursue your career?
A little bit of everything. Because being an artist, it takes time, motivation. You got to have a great support team. you gotta have somebody you can lean on when, you know, your job ain't cutting your hours right.
That's right.
But I'm an entrepreneur. I
Okay.
just started doing piercings. I do babysitting on the side. I got that business going. I do home health aid. I'm an in-home private care
Okay.
for older people.
Okay.
I do a little bit of everything, and I'm a mom of 5.
Yeah,
So,
you most definitely doing a lot
Yeah.
because I just seen a movie about the babysitter. Have you seen that movie?
nope,
Oh wow,
nope, I haven't seen it.
that movie's crazy. She was stealing babies.
Oh, you know what? That's not me. I
But
love
that
the
was the
children.
baby. You ever
No,
seen that
still the
movie?
babies.
Y'all don't look at the
I
movies.
love the children.
Come
but that's
on.
not me.
We know that's not you, Miss Scott. But is there any like music you got coming out now that you doing or no?
Yes, I am going to drop a project on my birthday, May
Okay.
7th. It's only going to be 7 tracks.
Okay.
And it's just going to be different styles of me.
Okay.
Because I sing, I rap, merging into the gospel as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a manager or are you doing this on your own?
At the previous moment, I haven't stamped and approved it, but
Okay.
you definitely will see my manager around.
Yeah. Keep on talking to Eagle. We'll work it out.
All right. Amen to that.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
So, back to you, Miss Bryant. So, kind of tell us, what is your goal, far as if you be elected in Maryland? What is your goals for it?
So many things. So what does the federal government do? It helps provide funding for various projects. Like my issues are legalizing marijuana so that we can make money from it, so that we can train people how to grow it, how to market it.
After I done spent all them years locked up for having it, now y'all want to legalize it? I got a big problem with that.
I have a problem with people still being in jail about it, you know? So I think we need to exonerate them, take them out of jail, expunge the records of people who've been arrested for marijuana, take it off the list of illegal substances.
Right.
And then the money that we get from that, you can have schools that teach people how to grow it, how to sell it legally, because other folks with no melanin, I mean, are making money out of it. And we need to. That's how you close the wealth gap. Okay.
That's right.
You give us the opportunity to make money, and what do? We roll with it.
That's right.
So that's one of the things. To make sure that there's affordable housing. You can do community development block grants that can help people, neighborhoods, refurbish their houses and what have you, so that there will be more affordable houses. Because where are people going to live? You know, here in Prince George's County, there's a lot of building going up. Okay. So what's happening is going to be the same thing that happened in D.C. The price of houses goes up. Where does everybody go? You know, you can't build yourself out of your community. I mean, for goodness sake, you want to make people's lives better, not make them move.
That's right.
So those are some of the things that I'm thinking about. But more than that, I want to be approachable. I want to be accessible to people so I can help solve problems.
Right.
That's what people in office are supposed to do. They're supposed to be there supporting you and finding out what's happening in the community and being there and solving the issues that people present, you know.
That's right.
So I grew up in South Central LA for the most part.
Okay.
So I've been there.
Right.
I know what it's like.
Right.
You know, I've been there, you know, when my cousins get arrested and police chasing them around the corner. I mean, I've been through it, lived through it. I was a victim of domestic violence. So I've seen that. That's a huge issue.
Right.
You can't be beating up on women, you know, and that's got to stop.
And it got to stop that women beating up on men.
That too.
It got to stop, man, 'cause they just out here cutting up.
Come on now.
Because, look, I know the rule now. I had to learn the rule. The rule is whoever called the police first.
Or whoever has visible signs on their body.
See, you talking about some serious abuse. I'm talking about women just abusing you, just mentally abusing a man, man. It's so many different types of abuse.
There are.
But I'm just saying, I don't condone men abusing women either.
Right.
Don't give me misunderstand me. But what I am saying is that we have women out here that's abusive to men.
And that's true. Most of the women who are incarcerated right now is something, either drugs or violence related, domestic violence. That's happening a lot. But
yeah, because I ain't having it.
But it's a lot of frustration out there. You know, it's a lot of frustration.
Put your hands on me, man. I got you. Because
Well,
I
the
was
best
raised.
thing to do is
Now,
walk
see,
away.
But see, I was raised. We always got to go back how we was raised. We was raised that if you put your hands on me, you put your hands back on them. Now, was you raised like that? Was you taught that?
Definitely.
You hit me, hit your
To
back.
a certain degree.
Pick up something, bust them in the
To a
head,
certain
type
degree.
thing. You know what I mean?
But it's not doing anybody any good. Both y'all in jail,
Yeah,
or one in the
But see,
hospital, and one in
that's
jail.
something. But see, that's something that became now. It wasn't like that all the time. Now, what happened was a lot of females has lost their lives through abuse.
Definitely.
So that's when the laws got more tougher
Yes.
and more, they start really enforcing it. But I'm telling you that I know some guys that got some abusive girlfriends, you know what I'm saying? And they will call the police and lie, and the police come and lock them up.
Walk away. Why do they? It's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If you find somebody who's violent or abusive to you, you just have to leave the relationship.
Okay, let me say this.
Walk away.
Y'all hear this topic that we're talking about. If y'all have any questions, do y'all want to intervene in it? Give us your input on it. Give us a call at 240-719-2560. Right now, and I need some help, man. Call in and let's talk to the man about this, because I don't want it to be a one-sided thing, and I am most definitely looking at two beautiful women, and they looking at me like, what you saying?
Well,
What did you say?
Let me just tell you. I was in a relationship with a guy who put a gun to my head.
Wow.
Okay, and the gun went off, but luckily it went in the air and not in my head.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to leave a relationship when it gets that scary. When somebody
Most
feels
definitely.
like that's their only option
Most
is
definitely.
to hurt you. So I've survived, and I know now what the signs are. You step away, you walk away, you leave it, because too many people go to jail for that. I mean,
Yeah, most definitely. Most
in our
definitely.
community, you leave the kids without a parent, and then what the statistics show is that when you go to jail, 99 there's a higher percentage of kids that end up doing the same thing without a parent.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I want people to get out of jail. There's other ways to hold people accountable than putting them in jail.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel about Kim Kardashian? They've been going over to DC jail helping guys get out of jail.
Well, whatever you can do it. But that shouldn't be one by one. It should be legislated so that we change the way we treat, first of all, these obscene sentences. It's ridiculous to put people in jail for so long for minor things.
But we know this is a business that they're running. They get a lot of money incarcerating not just black men, white men, Hispanic men. They get paid every day they're locked up. They get paid for that one person.
That's in private prisons, and that's I mean.
Now, when you say private prisons, what you mean?
I mean that there are corporations that own prisons that are paid by the state to house them. And basically that's all they do, warehouse them, because they don't provide any of those things like education and job training and stuff like that you should be doing while you're locked up, because why are you just wasting that part of your life? Usually people who are in jail are there because they didn't go finish school, or they got sidetracked somehow. When society lets you fall through the cracks, that's what catches you. That's the only thing. So if you had more community services and things to keep you focused on the right thing, people wouldn't end up in jail. If you notice that in places where there's less poverty, there are fewer people in jail. So Dan, give us a reason not to have to steal or do crime.
That's
you know, if you have a job,
That's right.
it's right on.
That's
you know.
right.
So
Well, look,
we need them in our cities.
I don't want to cut you off, Miss Bryant. But
Yeah,
we're
'cause
gonna
I
have to
can
take
go
a
on
quick,
and on.
Oh, I most definitely. But it's good too, because you're giving out good information.
Yeah.
But we got to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back in a second, and we will continue with Miss Gutter and Miss Bryant. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
Come on. Come on. Where my ladies at? Come to the front. I say come to the front. Hey, 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 hey. baby. Put your boogie shoes on. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. Hey, come on. Come on. Where my ladies at? Come to the front. I say come to the front. Hey, 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 hey. You over there, girl, you look so sweet. Girl, I know you been freak of deep. Come on, show me what you got. You got the boogie shoes now, that's a fact. Don't be scared, don't be misled. Come on, baby, let's rock and stay. It's up to you to follow the rules. Bring your friend, don't leave her behind. 'Cause you got the boogie shoes just like mine. Come on, boy, show me what you got. Don't you fake 'cause you got a lot. Come on, y'all, let's shake it down. Shake this party, baby, all around. It's up to you to follow the rules. New York, DC, Maryland. Hey, come on.
Florida, VA, NC. Put your boogie shoes on.
Hey, come on. SC, Cali, GA.
Put your boogie shoes on.
Hey, come on.
Atlanta, Philly, BMO. Put your boogie shoes on.
Houston, Brooklyn, Inglewood. Hey, come on.
Richmond, Chicago, Miami. Put your boogie shoes on.
Hey, come on, party people, jam with me. Let me see you gon' bring a beat. It's up to you to follow the groove. You gotta get down, that's the truth. Put your feet up, I say put your feet down. Shake your bottom, baby, all around. It's up to you to follow the groove. Shake it to the right, shake it all night, baby, it's alright. Up and down, we shake it around, baby, let me see you get on down. Put your booty on, let me take you all night long. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, come on.
Put your boogie shoes on.
Hey, come on.
Exactly.
With my
Yeah.
grandfather.
Yeah,
I know
I
that.
raised my hand
My
in
grandfather,
church.
he said, if the man don't do this, he's been disrespectful.
That's right.
All right, all right. Yes, we're back once again Wednesday night right here on the Tom Mo Show, man. Straight out of Washington, D.C. Southeast. What's his name?
Tom
Mo.
Mo.
Man, I love it when you do it. So, look, we back here with Miss Gutter and Mrs. Bryant. Man, look, when we went on commercial, man, they had, look, y'all already know I got the camera set up, so my Facebook page caught all that y'all was doing when we went
we
on
didn't
break.
know.
It's fine.
So it's most definitely out. But what I did was I kind of stepped out to try to get some help with me on this thing, and I mean I was really unsuccessful. I got brother Coach Cheeks, and he ended up bringing his top security in, and he wanted him to be his mouthpiece. Now, this is what we're going to do, because we're not going to stay on that long. It's just that in the position, Ms. Bryant, that you're going in, I'm just trying to voice a certain opinion from a male's perspective. Not saying that what you're saying or what Ms. Gutter's saying is wrong at all. Believe me. Because I have a mother, I have a sister, I have daughters. And the last thing somebody want to do is mess with my daughter. That's the last thing they want to do. So if I mean, I done experienced it. If something happened with one of my daughters, they don't even want to call me. Because I'm just not having that. Because like you said, no man should put his hands on a woman. But at the same token, no woman should be putting her hands on no man. Because physically, a woman can't do nothing with a man. Physically. Because the genetics that God created us in. Our bodies are built stronger, our bones are different, and all that. And see how y'all looking at me like,
I hear
nigga,
you.
please.
No, I'm not.
That's the
disagreeing
look
with you.
I'm getting. So,
I'm gonna wait for
what's
you
your
to
name?
get to the point.
Greg.
Okay, we got my man Greg sitting here. And like I said, I'm gonna keep everybody long. Greg, how do you feel about a woman being aggressive, abusive, mentally and physically out here in the world today?
My thoughts is that no human being should lift their hand to the hazard of another person's life without just cause. The idea that we getting stuck on male versus female, or female versus male, the whole problem with violence was basically talked about by Ms. Bryan. I think that's one of the issues she wants to address if she's elected. So I like the idea that from a political perspective, she's encompassing that in her campaign platform to address the blatant violence that takes over different communities that we predominate as a race. So whether it's domestic violence or just violence in general, especially in these recent days where we have been victims of police brutality, unjust court systems that keep us in a system where our youth are sent to facilities and violence is then perpetrated to the extent that that's brought right back into the community. It's an ever-revolving cycle, and it has to stop. I mean, if we look by comparison at other communities, we are kind of behind in terms of adopting some of the more civilized social skills that our youth need. And there is no two ways to put that. I honestly believe that the issues that are confronting our people in general, and especially our youth, are causing our numbers to be far greater in prison than those on hospital beds from the coronavirus right now. So the issue of violence is definitely one of those issues for any politician to put at their level of priority when they go to address the problems of our social lifestyle and who's going to help us try to get out of that from a political perspective. And I appreciate the fact that you're running.
Look,
That's a
man,
good
you know
point.
what?
That is all right.
I think, Coach Cheese, you did the best thing since I've known you by bringing this brother in here to engage into this conversation, because everything he said was correct and very intelligent. I like that. Very intelligent. Ms. Gutter, what you got to say about some of what you just talked about?
Oh, man. The change is much needed. Everything you said was definitely politically correct. And the ties to the domestic, the ties to the children, it all plays a part into who we are today. And what we don't try to do is really get to know the people that are going through the mental and the physical abuse that is being dished out to the people that's not abusive, that makes them abusive and neglect other individuals. That goes for kids too. with that being said, Ms. Bryant,
Yeah, you know what? It's
You-
hard.
oh,
It's,
sorry.
I'm sorry. You were saying something.
you have a valid point with putting that in your campaign and making it out on the forefront. I really appreciate that, and you definitely have my vote, because it can be times where it's much needed and it's not pushed out there.
Right.
They put it on a back burner, and it definitely needs to be on the forefront for everybody to see, and everybody needs to attack it, not in a wrong way, but in a right way.
Right.
And
So we do have to talk about issues.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Shows like this where you can do real talk,
Oh, yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
just say
Yeah.
what is happening, what's
Right.
real, what's out there. And what's heartbreaking is that a lot of times the violence is against ourselves, against
Yeah.
our own family, against people that we know, our friends. And that part is just heartbreaking, The truth of the matter is that we do commit more violent crimes. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't reasons. There's systemic racism that has gotten us to this point where we think that that's the way you have to respond
Yeah.
to disrespect. Okay, so a lot of times that's what they say. That's what's happening. Somebody feels that they've been disrespected. Well, we don't get it very much in our lives anyway. So when you feel like you're being slighted, that's the response. Okay, not only that, but you'd be surprised how environmental things like lead paint, when you ingest it as a kid, it changes the chemistry in your brain. I'm saying these things were done sometimes purposely in some cases. The environmental pollution and discrimination, where they put a coal plant, for instance, in a neighborhood where it's a black or a community of color, and the asthma and all of these other diseases that you see clusters of them because they don't care about us.
Let me slide in here for a moment, Ms. Bryant, because I want to ask you a question. Where, not that you actually should know, you know what I mean, I really don't, but where did this corona come from?
Well, it started in Wuhan, China. It did start there. Wuhan, I'm sorry. And so what they've discovered is that the virus comes from animals, and it somehow got transmitted into the humans.
Now, if from what I heard, because you're gonna hear a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I heard that it was a snake bit a bat, and a bat ended up biting a human.
No. In Wuhan,
So that's what I heard.
In
I
Wuhan,
heard
they
the
have
same
these
thing.
markets, okay? And they have live animals there. So I'm not sure what animal, they're not sure what animal it was, but somehow the blood, the feces, the droppings got into another animal that was ingested or somehow consumed by a human being, and they developed a virus.
Somehow consumed by a human being.
Consumed, yeah.
Okay,
They
when
ate
you-
it or
Oh, so the meat was.
either the meat, I don't really know. They don't know exactly how it happened.
I'm just trying to figure out how did it go from there to here?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like one person came infected with it.
Uh-huh.
Because we got a lot of people that done died from it. I mean, like dead. From this-
18,000 people worldwide have been killed.
You follow what I'm saying? And I mean, I just don't. And then they saying that the president knew about this 3 months ahead of time.
Definitely.
So what happened was the World Health Organization told everybody, "Hey, there's this outbreak in China. You might want to start testing people, what have you." So one of the first symptoms is a temperature. So we didn't do it, but some countries started testing people right away. So if you test people right away when they arrive, for instance, on a plane from another country, you test them and they have a temperature, you can put them in isolation.
Right.
That keeps them from spreading. But did we do that? No, we didn't. What we did was some of our senators who knew about it, and they're like, this is going to be a virus, so I got to sell my stocks so that I can make money and I won't lose money. I'll buy other stocks. So I'll sell my airline stocks, or I'll sell these stocks and make money off of it, instead of alerting us and telling us in January when they knew, okay, This is the corruption that we have to deal with, and why I want to run for office. And I'm not taking money from corporations and those kinds of things, because I don't want to use that position to make money. I want
Right.
to do it to help people. So now what do we have? We have a virus that has killed 18,000 people in the world. 390,000 people have it. And in the DMV, 100 people have died. And so every day it triples because we're testing more people. More people have it than we know. And the way it gets transmitted, if somebody coughs, there's droplets that you can't see.
No, nobody coughing here.
There are droplets that you can't see. So if you cover your mouth with your hand and you touch something and
Right.
somebody else touches it, it can stay on the surface for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
That's how it gets transmitted. And if you don't know you're infected, then you continue to pass it on. And that person who touches you passes it on. And that's how that's what it is. So that's why they tell you don't put your hands on your face, because that's how it enters your body, through your mouth and your nose and your eyes. So when you put your hands on your face after you've touched that surface that has the virus on it, then you can get it.
Well, that's. I mean, like like since it's all been going on. I mean, I don't be around a lot of people. Period. I don't travel. But just since it's been going on, it's just amazing to me how our government could actually know about this thing and let this thing flourish into our city and our state and act like it ain't nothing going on. Act like it's all right. Go ahead.
I honestly think just looking at world news, period, it's a way to kill off the population throughout the whole world.
Right.
That's why they don't put the news out there. They put out there for us to see what they want us to see and hear. So they don't put it out there on the forefront for the reason being for us not to panic.
Right.
When literally every day we're in panic mode due to the fact that we know the government is withholding information that is not due to us. But, we get stimulus checks now that it's a state emergency, when literally it's a state emergency every single day of our life.
Exactly.
Because y'all withhold information every single day.
Exactly.
Y'all get calls to the big house
That's right.
every day.
That's right. That's right.
So why is it a state emergency now?
But don't say too much, because I want that check. I'm trying to get that.
Well, I'll tell you why it's an
It's,
emergency now.
it's
like
crazy.
what the idiot in the White House said, that people are dying that never died before. What he meant was people that don't have
Melanin, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
and that has not been a phenomenon
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
And so now it's like, just like with the opioid crisis, when it was crack in our neighborhoods, it was like, put them in jail, lock them up. But then when the poor little Nancy gets sick and overdoses, it's, oh my God, it's a mental health crisis.
Right.
It's a medical condition.
Right.
And I'm not, certainly, I have sympathy for people who are addicted to drugs
Right,
of any
right,
kind,
right,
any kind
right.
of way. But it's just different the way that society responds when it's us.
Yeah.
Now, the person in the White House, 45, has completely failed us in this.
Yes.
He's saying, oh no, going out there and go to church on Easter.
Fill
like
the
he
churches up, I think they said. He wanted to see the
Fill the
churches
churches
filled
up by
yeah.
Easter. And if it's still contagion, then what is he trying to do?
Yeah, trying to get
But
rid of a
what
lot
he cares
of people.
about is the stock market going up so that he can make money. So
So
his
is that
friends can make money.
Is that what happened when the stock market crashed? That's what happened. People just start snatching their money out.
Exactly. They did, and they start buying bonds and stuff like that. And so they've lost a lot of money because if you waited too late, then your stock, the value of it goes down. And for Trump, that's his only interest. He does not care about us. He does not care about your health. He's like, your mama, your daddy, your kids can get sick and die.
Right.
And they, you know,
Right,
the whole
right.
right wing, it's like they go out and act like it's nothing. It's like,
right.
oh, I'll die for my country. I don't know
Right.
if you saw that on the
Yeah,
news.
I haven't,
Where this
but-
guy said, this older guy from the far right said, you know, we should sacrifice ourselves. We're not scared. But it doesn't just kill older people.
Right,
It
right.
kills kids. A
Kids
kid
too.
died
Yeah,
the other day
yeah.
from this virus. And we just can't risk it. You know, if everybody would keep their hands to themselves and avoid coughing in public, but they don't.
Right,
And then you
exactly.
don't know you've got it.
Exactly.
So that's why we have to do
Yeah.
the social distancing. We have to stay 6 feet apart so when somebody coughs, it doesn't land,
And
the
on you.
droplets
Right,
don't land on
right,
you.
Right, right,
If I might, since we're on this subject, putting it in a historical context, this country has experienced 9 pandemics throughout its history. In 4 of those cases, they were actually man-made, man-managed, and man-manipulated. We're talking about a nation that infected blankets with smallpox and particularly gave them to an entire ethnic group we call the Indians, for the sole purpose of destabilizing their communities so that they would be in less position to hold security over their land, their animals, and even their farms or money, for that matter. When you take that into context, and you realize that any ethnic group that is considered by the powers to be disposable or in the way, there's always a ready plan to try to affect their stability by the most subtle means, whether it's just gentrifying a neighborhood or going to the extreme of introducing an entire virus, not only into this country, but into the world.
It's called genocide. Yes.
Exactly.
They did.
Exactly.
Yes.
And to the point of this particular administration, which is being led by a president who has 16 major hotels that are losing an average of $50,000 a day. We can almost presume that his response would be in his favor, or those like him who own property and various other establishments that are being affected by the virus. All of the politics aside, just to address what we need to do as a people to keep ourselves safe and to try to get through this, it goes back to the simple instructions that Ms. Bryant shared or reiterated, because they've been put out there.
Yeah.
The 15 points or principles that have been established for all citizens to live by. Social distancing, hand washing, and a variety of other measures that we are required to take. No less than no more than 10 people in a gathered place. But at the same time, you have the same person in the administration telling us to go to church on Easter, or another right-wing politician who's advocating the sacrifice of seniors, telling them we're willing to die just to keep the economy alive.
Yeah.
That is the mentality of a people who are, by all practical definitions, insane. And that's what we're dealing with. When you get people panicked over their financial status, right? We don't have to go too far back, just to 1929, where we have a recorded incidents of an entire industry of people jumping out a window because they lost their stocks. Imagine what they're losing now and what they're prepared to do. I don't think they want to jump out the window, but they sure are prepared to push some other people out. So,
Well, here's the good news.
yeah.
Though. So now we've got a stimulus package that the Congress has just passed. And what it's going to do is set aside, I think it's $300 billion
Yes, ma'am.
to help small businesses cope with this, $250 billion with a B, to unemployment insurance. So now if you lost your job or you're self-employed, you can apply for unemployment insurance, and you can get I think it's $1,200. Well, that $1,200 is going to be separate. That's another thing, directly to individuals, $1,200 checks.
Okay.
All right, as we get back to your checks.
That's right. That's right. Need that.
And so that'll help, and it's also giving money to the hospitals, which are really gonna need it. You see what's happening in New York, and if you listen to Governor Cuomo, he's saying we're just a couple of weeks behind. The rest of the country is a couple of weeks behind because it's out there. You know, I think Hogan has done a good job, the governor, in trying to make sure that we, do what we have to do. He didn't say stay at home, but it makes it hard if nothing is open.
Absolutely.
You know.
He's been very aggressive
Yeah.
in his approach to
Yeah.
dealing with their particular jurisdiction's problems. I think by comparison, D.C. and even Maryland are playing catch up when it comes to addressing some of the innovative measures he's taken. Washington, D.C. and Maryland really, or Virginia rather, absolutely, have to really look at some of the measures he's implemented and perhaps duplicate them because he's having great success in containing the effects of the virus in his particular jurisdiction to the extent that in his briefings he's able to report how few cases are occurring by comparison to the other two jurisdictions.
And one of the things that they're doing now is releasing people from jail. They're not even arresting people for minor crimes,
Right.
like minor theft or prostitution or possession of drugs. You don't have to put somebody in jail for that, risk their life.
What we would call petty crime.
Petty crimes,
Right.
exactly. And releasing some people that are already in jail for those kinds of. So that's good. That's really good that we're doing that.
Y'all gotta understand me, man. Like I look at things in reality of life because I've been through a lot in my life. To be where I'm sitting at right here today is most definitely a blessing for me because I'm having an opportunity to be able to meet people as such as yourselves, to be able to give these type of information to the public, to people that really don't even take the time to look at the news. There's a lot of people that don't look at the news because they feel like the news always dragging something down because something always going on. And when I was maybe a teenager, I was heavily into the church, and I was told, maybe by somebody in the church that, don't be looking at the news. The news ain't no good. It's always, bad stuff. And as I grew, when I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, they always tell they ain't saying nothing good, this and that. But as I got to be an adult, I understand that we need to watch the news because we need to know what's going on right next door. Because you can have a rapist living right next to you and you never know because you never seen it when they put it up on the news. Yeah, they just released this guy and this is where he living at and all this kind of stuff. But the time is getting short for us now. But I want, Ms. Bryant, I want you to kind of let them know where they can reach you. Any information you want the public to know before we close out.
Okay, there's two things I want to say. Number one is that in Maryland, the election has been postponed till June 2nd, and the election board is trying to make it by mail. So that may be good, so that everybody can...
Less contact.
Exactly, so you can just put it in the mail and you don't have to worry about it. Just drop it off or put it in your mail. The second thing is my website is BryantForCongress.com. You can go on there and I'll have information there and on my Facebook site, Sheila Bryant for Congress. So I'll have information about what's going on in the community, where there's going to be food distribution, the latest on what's going on with the law with regard to the stimulus, how it's going to affect us, those kinds of things. So stay in touch. Every Friday, Wednesday and Friday at 6 p.m., I'll do a live stream on Facebook.
Okay.
And give you the opportunity to ask questions and let's talk. Real talk.
All right. Ms. Gutter, you want to get some information on how you can be contacted?
Ms. Gutter, you could type on just about any social media platforms. You can find my music. Only 2 songs are out now until May 7th, my birthday as well. MISSGUDDA.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Well, it's been a pleasure, just as well as a blessing to have you both here. And I most definitely want to take my hat off to you, sir, for coming in and prevailing the information that you did today. I think you did a great
My
job.
pleasure,
Come on.
That's right.
We're
Yeah,
not going to forget where we at. We're not going to
I'm
forget.
so used to yeah.
Because you know you my man.
I know
Personally,
Doc,
I know him. He's not no stranger to me.
Yeah.
But you came in, man, and you most definitely. I brought you in here to help me out, but you came in here and you educated us on some things, man. I mean, like, they kind of know, but when you start going back to 1920s and all that, man, I'm like, okay, you know what you know. You know what I mean? And like, God always seemed to bless me with good people. Like my show, I don't think the Thomas Show is what you call a trashy show. I think my show is a very educational show, and I do all sorts of visitors. It ain't always just on social, social gatherings. I do a lot of things about music. I do a lot of things about young kids that's coming up doing different stuff. Like if you go on voxwave.com, you can see all the stuff that I do. I'm just around the world. I don't want to be like people be like, well, if I come on your show, what's the topic? I don't really have a topic because I want to know what's going on with you. So I can't just sit home and say, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about this tonight. I just don't want to do that. I want to be free. I want people to come in here, feel free, feel comfortable, and we can kind of get some messages out because that's what it's about with me. I don't know what everybody else doing when they come to Box Wave. It's not my business. But as y'all know, when y'all came in here, I gave you the hand sanitizer, trying to let you know I'm down with what's going on. I'm not just going to have you come in here and feel like, oh, he don't even give us no hand sanitizer, nothing. But I think that we all going to be all right. Because if you believe in Jesus, if you believe in the Lord Almighty, he's going to protect us. Now, we got a job to do, too. Now, if you know your man's sick over there, don't be running over there talking about, man, I love you, and he's sick because now you done put yourself in the position. But I really do appreciate y'all coming out tonight, and you are always welcome to come back. Just contact me how you do, and then we'll be right back in here and maybe talk about something else. Now, we're going to vote for you, Miss Bryant.
Awesome.
Now, you know if you let us down, I'm going to bring you back on here. Don't think I'm not. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right, because I keeps it real, and I want to send a shout out to my man, Mr. Cocheeks Hill, for actually bringing you. Mr. Hill, he always brings a lot of good people to me, to my show, to expose things that they're into, and I like that about him.
He's extraordinary. Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all that part, but he's my friend, he's my brother, you know what I mean? And on a personal level, me and him, we cool, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to dealing with artists, musicians, public figures, I think he do a great job. Because I haven't met anyone yet that he introduced me to that I felt like, man, you know what, you just wasted my time. Because what we need to understand, and I'm serious, and I know I'm going to go over, but what we need to understand is our time is valuable every day.
Most definitely.
Every day, no matter what we're into, what we're doing, our time is valuable, and some people take advantage of your time. Let me give you a quick example. Your girlfriend call you, hey, what's up, what you doing? I ain't doing too much of nothing. Look, girl, I need to ride to the store. Okay, well, I'm going to come and get you. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. You get over there, and you're waiting 10, 15 minutes for it to come out. That's not valuing your time. You was doing something for her. Be ready. Come outside. Get in. Let me take you. Drop you back off before the virus get us. Thanks for joining the Tom O Show tonight, man. We love you. If ain't nobody told you they love you today, I do. Peace and love. Peace and love. Don't push and shove. From this time to the next time. Peace. We out of here.
All right.
All right. That was good.
Hey. That's really a great way to have a show.
I'm telling you.
Shout out to all my family and friends. Come on, wow. Let's do it again, band and show. I said we on the go. Come on.
We're cranking in the morning. We're thumping
my main man Earl. What's going on? Let's do it again. Southwest, what's up? Let's do it again. Hey, I let my music for change man now.
I see you sexy Keisha, let's do it. Yeah, do it.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a cancer birthday up in here tonight. We gonna do it tonight.